This is Baron the Bear, and this video is going to be about basic farming tips that you can do to maximize your farming and keep your troops out of the base. Just general tips. What I'll do first is I'll explain certain times of the day, how you can farm, and how I farm, and then some beginner tips on farming. And that way you can kind of piecemeal what you want to use from what I tell you. All right, so in general, what I'll do is I'll go into my command center. I'll get my my resource gatherer speed generals, and what I usually do is I haven't maxed any of my gathering skills, because if you put skill books into them, when you forget them, you'll get some of the skill books back, but you won't get that as many as you put in. So you're going to lose some experience in your skills if you keep forgetting. So what I usually do is I have the blue general here. He's at 3 stars, so he's got 2 skills unlocked. So I got oil and food at level 1. That's going to give me about a 3% increase for gathering oil and food. Now, a lot of people think, well, you can level those up. You could probably get about 8 or 10 experience or whatnot. That might be true, but this way I can change them out. If I want to gather steel, I can change out one of those and put steel in. It's going to give me only a 3%, but if you think about that, if you play this game in 6 months, that extra 3% on every single time you're out farming for any type of resource, that's eventually going to add up. Versus if you only have one skill that you got maxed, you could swap it out. You would just, like, if you only had the oil gathering speed skill, you could, swap that in, land on a few oil tiles, then swap out to the food gathering and land on those food gathering tiles. And then if you want to finish up with the steel tile, you could swap out and put a steel tile. And that's a good way of doing it if you only have 2-star jet officers. If you don't have 3 or higher, you can only put 1 skill in. You could just swap them out as you land on tiles. So what I do is I make sure I got that. I also do some monster hunting while I start sending my troops out for farming. So I got my max fleet generals with some XP for monsters and attack speed. I'll go over some of the officer setups in another video. But right now we'll do the farming. So I'm going to go out on the map. Now I'm going to look at my alliance. Now I'm in USA, and they have a ton. Look at all these elite mines, and we're not fully maxed, and we're not like hardcore players where everyone's like, you have to like check every 30 minutes for a tile to be open to get into it. It's not like that in this alliance. So what I usually would do is I'm going to do food and oil. Now, if it was in the daytime, I might hit the lower ones, the 600s there. Hit the 15,000 steel. The reason why you would want to farm those, you want those to get down to 0 as fast as possible, because once they go down to 0, it's going to go on a cooldown cycle to regenerate to another full mine. So during the daytime, if you're active, you can get back into the game and resend marches out. The best bet is to hit those small mines first, to clear them out. So they open and unlock newer mines with full resources. But if it's at nighttime, I'm going to say it's nighttime right now. I'm about ready to go to bed. Alright? So I'll hit those big ones. Alright? Now see right here, I got a 4 or 5 food tile. I want to hit that first, man, because I don't want no one else to take. There's only 1 spot left. So what I'll do before I take that, I don't want to send my monster march because I got 100 mobility. I want to attack monsters as I'm sending my troops out to farm. So what I'll do is I'll scan for level 22. I click on my Monster March. I'll send it out. As soon as it sends out, I'll go back and go to that farm. I click onto it, gather, and there's 115,000. I'll move it to about, let's make it 100,000 or so. I'll set it out. Alright. Now, why I did that, my Monster March was out. It returned. Let me hit another one. Hopefully it didn't take them out of my way. No, I still got them all. Alright. So I'll send that out again. I'll go ahead and I'll heal up. Because, when you're attacking as the highest possible monsters that you can attack, you got to heal up more often, because you're going to get to a point you're going to start losing them battles, and that's going to waste your mobility. So then I'll go back out again. Okay, I got withdrawal, 20 seconds left. All right, I'll hit another tile. Let's go for another food. I'll take it out 200 again. It's going to set out. My Monster March is coming back. Now see, I'm keeping my Monster March out so that I can keep resending it as I'm sending out troops to farm. I keep them separate. That way I always have my Monster March on hand. Alright, I'll send it out again. I'll hit an oil this time. Let's go for the 4-5 oil one. Alright? That way, nobody's going to take it. Hopefully. Send it out 100. Attack it in the roots, coming back. Now, I got a total of 5 marches I can send out. So what I'll probably do, now you can look at my resources. I got 7 million food, 14 oil. If I wanted to balance that out, I might want to maybe hit another food if there's available. If it's not available, I'd go for another oil. Alright, so let's go heal troops again. Alright. Let's go attack another monster. Alright, let's go and see what we got left here. We got a 900,000 food, 1.5 oil. Now, if I was going to bed, I might hit just the 1.5 million oil. That way I can make sure the times are high. Let's just go for another oil. I'll go up to 100,000. So, set them out. Okay, now my Monster March is coming back to check out, see what my heal's at. So I'm basically healing, attacking monsters, sending farm troops out. Alright, still got 2 minutes left. Alright. Now let's say, okay, let's say my mobility is down to 0. Alright, I got 1 march left. I can send my full Monster March out. Now, one of the options is going to be, I haven't sent it on any of the steel. So if it was in the daytime or something, I was going to wait maybe 4 hours from now. My mobility would regenerate, and I want to attack more marches. More monsters. I could select the steel, and gather. Select my Monster March. I'll send that out. That way, when my mobility goes back up to 100, I know my Monster March is going to be in that steel tile. So all I would have to do is hit withdrawal and pull it out of the steel one, and my troops would come back and I could go back and start killing monsters again. So that's one strategy. It's gathering. It's going to be about 4 minutes for that. I try to explain some other stuff here. Now, now let's say if you're not in a very peaceful kingdom, a lot of stuff's going on. It's maybe during a kill event. You're not really wanting to keep your best troops that you use to attack monsters and battle with. Maybe you don't want to put those on a tile. Maybe you don't have enough hospital capacity to where you're worried if you get multiple tile hits, you're going to run out of hospital beds. You might lose your main troops. I mean, somebody could attack your weaker troops first on tiles. Excuse me. And your hospital capacity would fill up. Well, then someone would hit your main, troop march on a tile, and they would all die. So, in that type of situation, if you're looking to protect your main troops, you don't want to put them farming. You can go to, let's see, where in the hell is it? Go to your alliance fort. Where was it at? It's Alliance Institute. That's not the fort. It will be shielded. Maybe it's, Alliance Hall. That can be attacked too. It's not a good. Here it is. All right. Now see how it's got a shield. This can't be attacked, so you can reinforce. Q full. All right. I still got my. Okay. Yeah, I still have my. It's still going to a tile, but if I had my monster march, in my base, I could just hit reinforce and hit the preset 2 that I got from my monster, and I can send it right in there, and my main troops will be protected while I go to bed at night. That's a good strategy. A lot of people seem to forget about the Alliance fort, but I tell you, if you got really good troops, you don't want to lose them. That's the best bet of putting them in there. If there's room in there, you got enough room to put all your good. Just put as many good troops as you can in your Alliance fort. Okay, so let's say. Hold on a minute. I'm going to pause the video, and when the timers go down, I'll pull out my monster march, and I'll walk you through a stage of what you can do with switching skills out. Okay, now you can see that the steel tile gathering 16 hours and 47 minutes. Okay, so for 16 hours, my main troop march is not going to come back into my base. So if I was a free player and I was still low level, I only had 3 marches, I wouldn't have to worry at all about my main troops unless someone would hit that tile. And hopefully, I have the hospital capacity to be able to heal those troops. So I could go to bed and not have to worry about my main troops. Now you can notice the other ones though, they're like at 5 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours. Those aren't really long enough. I'm using 5 marches, but if I wanted them, if I was going to go to bed, I might want to raise those up. Maybe go and farm steel tiles instead, and make those times longer. Now, if you're wanting the speeds to be faster, what I usually do most of the time, unless I'm going to bed, I want to keep my troops out. I don't want them in my base. Let me recover. I'll go in city buff. Okay, get 2 hours left. All right. Now, say I'm going to work or I'm going to go to sleep, and I want to speed up this time so that I get a 50% boost for the whole 8 hours I'm away from the game or whatnot. I just click in and I buy another 200. All right. Now, if I was going to bed and I was worried about the times for the mines, and it was going to be less than 6 hours or 7 hours, and I'm going to get sleep for 8 hours or something, I wouldn't want to put the speed boost on. I'd want the times to be as slow as possible. I might even take my officers off. I might even remove them because and just put you know and then send them out because I might want to keep all the times at 8 hours. That way, when I know when I go to sleep, when I wake up, I can log into the game. Shortly after, and send my troops all back to my base, and then send them back out with new times, and they'll be out for another 8 hours or so. So those are strategies. Now, as far as switching out the skills, I'll show you what you do here. Okay, if I was going to go to steel mine, I'd swap out the food. Okay, you still get the skill, but you would lose some skill books. So that's why I don't put no skill books in them yet. All right, go to steel. Learn it. Now it's at steel, 2.91%. It's 3% extra. It's not a whole lot. But if you add that up in 6 months' time and you're farming steel every day for 6 months with the 3% boost, it's going to add up. So that should be about all I got as far as for farming purposes. If you got any thoughts on my strategies for farming, or any suggestions you'd like to add, or any opinions, feel free to leave a comment. Subscribe if you want. I'm gonna keep making more videos, and they're gonna have some tips that you might not be aware of, or even thought about doing before. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.